Hello, it's Mia, and it's ridiculously late. Um, I am, I am staying up late, wasting time, supposed to be doing homework for my business class, which I had to redo the project. I was given an F for the project, which I was shocked, because I spent a lot of time on it, but I should have really used a template or really gotten more help from websites instead of trying to piece it together myself. And being more serious about whether or not, I had a lot of questions. A lot of us didn't know how to do it, and did get a template and stuff, but the one I used apparently wasn't any good. I didn't use it as a template. You know, some of them it's like fill in the blanks here. This was more of an example, and it got me a bad grade. And there's a lot of weird stuff occurring around the grades. A lot of people this term are having missing quizzes and tests, changing grades. So I can't really worry about other people, and some people are doing some other weird things. It's none of my business. I occasionally wear lipstick. Well, I don't think I've owned lipstick in like actual lipstick, and I feel like it could be like at least 9 years. I've gotten some Burt's Bees lip gloss, and I've gotten some like a pencil, what do you call it, lip liner pencil, and I don't know what else. Anyways, it is really late. It's past midnight. No, it's not. It's almost past midnight. I'm using this lantern because I don't feel like using lights. It's not dark in here. It's just dark in the camera. I guess I forgot I can adjust the light. But anyways, my eyes look really bad. This is embarrassing. It's not embarrassing. I went to class this morning. Thought there was a inspection, because they put a notice on our door that said they're coming in to paint. My kids had the day off at school, so I'm paranoid about them. These people having the doors open like they did a couple weeks ago. To make a long story short, I went to take some stuff out to the dumpster, some cardboard boxes, and one of the lady who paints, she's like asking me for the boxes, which I hope she didn't get mad. One of them, the guinea pig, was running around in for an hour or two, so it's like, don't use this one, it's yucky. Anyways, I was like, are you coming in to paint? Because I woke up early with the intention of cleaning, and I did not really clean very well. I know I'm jumping around the subject. The whole lipstick thing, somebody posted on Facebook about all the lipsticks that they claimed had lead in them. I never know if these little articles people post on Facebook are true or not. But this brand, well, I don't even know what brand. This brand was not on the list, the Maybelline. I don't like putting stuff on my lips. My lips start getting reactions to anything. Just like I used to use chapstick all the time as a kid, and it's like once you started using it, at least for me, I couldn't stop using it. It's like addicted, and my lips got incredibly chapped all the time. But I got tired of people saying that I look like a guy. So, yeah. I just thought, in this profession I'm in, it's dress codes and different things. No one can make you. I mean, even the dress code, I just tend to bump things up a notch so that I can not be on the borderline. I want to be above average with different things. I'm not wearing a lipstick now, by the way. It's really late at night. I don't care. My eyes look really bad, and I've been eating the wrong foods. So supposed to meet my friend to study for an hour before school, but I emailed her last night because I didn't go to bed till like 11 or 12, which would make, to get there on time, I'd have to wake up pretty early, clean for a couple hours, and then leave. Ended up finding out at the last minute that I didn't need to leave, or clean. I mean, it needs to be clean, but when you're late for class, how many classes have I been late for, or have my kids late for school because I'm like, gotta do one more thing. Anyways, I'm jumping around here. Okay, lipstick, they said it could cause cancer. They had these horrible pictures of people with, like, I don't know if it was melanoma or what. Typically, I like to just keep things natural, but I'm trying not to be so strict with myself and just enjoy my life and do fun stuff. I mean, when I was younger, I would put on, like, weird, like, put black eyeliner on my lips and then put black on and then put, like, silver on. And I would do kind of that stuff with my nails. Make it all silver, but not just use silver and put all these layers, black and then white and then silver and then clear. My daughter's good at using, makeup for your face, or glitter for your face. She's good at putting that on the nails. It looks really awesome. I like glitter, sparkles and stuff. Okay, so I'm jumping around. I'm angry. Then I say, well, maybe my business plan was really bad and that teacher deserved to give me a bad grade. And obviously, I think that was a week I might have been sick. I'm like, oh, obviously I was sick that week. But I'm like, enough excuses. Get to work. Get to school. Didn't meet my friend to study. Get to school late anyways, 15 minutes late. Freaking out about that. I feel bad. The teacher's very observant. Towards the end of class, after it was a 3-hour class, she gave us one break. In the middle, I moved to sit next to my friend. Because I'm like, this friend is really motivated and good at telling you what needs to be done. I mean, it's my responsibility to know what needs to be done. But, I just wanted to say, the person next to me kind of got some text messages and stuff. But, my friend shows me her computer. Email. During class. One of my doctor, teachers, supervising physicians died in a car wreck last night. Or yesterday. I don't know what time. I don't know what happened. I can't find it on the news online anywhere. Any newspaper, news channel. I haven't found a thing. There was, I don't know how old he is. There was something about a 66-year-old man who passed away in a wreck with like a little SUV, but I'm not sure that's the type of car he has. I was trying to think. I know a lot of people buy their cars, and I couldn't think about what kind of car he had. Anyways, I saw him walking. I had him for a shift 4 to 8 on Wednesdays, and I had one part of the school in the parking lot. It's like a ramp for your car to go up, and then there's stairs for people to walk down, but it's easier for people to walk up and down the ramp thing, so I'd always be like, as I was coming in every week, he'd be walking down, which is like the timing was always the same for the last like 6 weeks of the shift. Pretty much every week I'd see him and wave or smile. And, you don't want to do too much because you have like this much space before you run. You don't want to run people over or hit the wall. Anyways, it's devastating. I've had him for minor surgery class, the first one. I had him for emergency medicine, which I got honors in. And I had him 12 weeks for a shift. And I had trouble with my resident doctor who did not like to use homeopathy. And I found out she even chose, this doctor particularly wanted to use herbs for a patient. And she's like, no, I want to use a prescription medication. And they tried a tincture for a week. It didn't work for high blood pressure. And with stuff like that, you don't even know if the patient's using it or how often or what they're eating with it. That can make a difference. Which I think a week. Don't ask me. We're actually seeing stuff in action now. We're actually giving people stuff and actually seeing the results. Anyways, I had a little trouble with this resident. And as far as them not thinking that I knew what I was doing. And also being told I was doing great, but then being told, you're doing great, but there's nothing wrong, but we're just going to have you take this class because we don't like your shifts and you're not getting enough hands-on. And part of my wanting to get hands-on is I'm getting some hands-on, but part of the thing is I have a family. We've been going week after week after month without a break, without a vacation. Occasionally we'll go to the beach for like 2 days, maybe once a year. And I mean, it's the drive there and back. That's what I do when I get there, is just rest on the drive there and back and make myself sit there and not have, I don't know, there's still work to do and stuff. Anyways, there's just some mix-ups. They're now making, because of this resident, I have to go to school on Saturdays for 3 hours. And I have a family, and I have kids, and I have a son who has insomnia and won't go to school. I have kids who are upset because I'm gone a lot. I have kids that are like, did you go to the store yet? No. Why? Oh, I'm tired. Or, I'm making you food now. Nobody's watching it. I can't just leave it in the toaster oven for an hour while I go to the store. And then I usually travel during rush hour, so I don't want to go to the store. I could go at 5 and fight over a parking spot, and I don't know. I think the biggest thing about going to the store at 5 is having purse, backpack, medical bag, iPad bag, all that stuff. You don't want to leave it in your car. You just want to carry it so you have it. Basically, it's already hard enough in medical school, and then driving out of town to go to church, and then volunteering at church a lot between my daughter and I, and then struggling to get my little boy up and ready for church, and despite having a lot of weekend classes and different things. So this particular resident had some issues. I went and talked to the dean about it. And she said, if you want to build a case, she didn't say that, but she said, if you want to fight this, whatever her words were, you need to let me know as soon as possible, and we'll get that resident and the substitute doctor who was on the shift for a few weeks, for a few hours of a few weeks, and this doctor who just died, which I didn't know about yesterday. She goes, you need to let me know as soon as possible. And I didn't believe that the actual supervising doctors had anything to do with her recommendation. It wasn't a recommendation, her mandatory requirement. And I don't know. It's so hard to deal with this. I liked this doctor enough. I kind of thought, well, maybe he is being a jerk and doesn't see that I've caught a lot of mistakes, not just the one I was talking about, but caught a lot of mistakes and just a lot of simple things, helping a lot of people, but having them take the credit and not even caring, but then getting penalized for it because they think that I didn't do anything for 12 weeks. So I said, I really like this doctor. He does minor surgery shifts. There's very few minor surgery shifts. The other minor surgery teacher was sick. There was another teacher she was a resident, I think. She was really good. I forget her name. I don't see her around. She could be around, but I haven't seen her since like 2 years ago. I didn't want to get this doctor involved because I really liked his shifts. I don't want him picking at me, and it's like they're picking at me writing stuff on a piece of paper. I don't want to do to them what they did to me and pick on them and have them have bad marks on their paper if they're doing their job, whether I agreed with them or not. So I emailed the dean yesterday and said, I'm overwhelmed. I have kids home sick. Kids home most of the week. I'm alone. I have attendance to be taken. I have to leave. My kids are sick. It doesn't matter. And so a lot of these classes, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. Some of them, it's like, you still don't want to miss instruction, or you don't want to miss work study because you don't get money. not being able to go grocery store, not being prepared for people to randomly come in the house, which could get us kicked out if they find that we didn't do the dishes, or that the kids stacked up their water bottles and art supplies all over the floor. So basically, I didn't want to pursue this because I'm already, like, had 2 clinic shifts, a whole bunch of classes, I had a bunch of paperwork to do. I have to redo my business plan, which I had originally made it a 25-page business plan. I had less than a week to complete that cardio exam where I'm supposed to be knowing every slide of 200 slides, plus read a book and read three chapters of another book in the next few days. I already don't know how to get, even if I was just a stay-at-home mom, especially a single mom, I wouldn't even know. I've done that for 3 months. I don't even know how to take care of everything well. I mean, that 3 months I stayed home, I was able to clean the house well enough to have a surprise party for my son. It was still cluttery, and then soon after that we had an inspection. And still took a lot of work to get prepared. This was 4 years ago. So that was 3 months where it's like, drop the kids off, and we were commuting. And then by the time you drop them off, run a couple errands, already trying to pick them up. And then it's like, then you got to feed them. Then it's like, something else is going on. And besides that, I go to community groups and churches, which I've been really feeling like I haven't been going to the extra groups. Barely feel like I'm making it to the church on Sunday. So I feel like having this extra class really feels like it's going to disrupt me. We have to have Saturday classes mandatory at one point before we graduate, and I'm wondering how I'm going to... I said there's absolutely no way I'm doing Saturday class right now, or Saturday shifts, because I have 3 Saturday classes. And some of them are Friday. One's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. One is Saturday, and one is Saturday, Sunday throughout the term. And they're kind of clumped up. And I'm wondering, how the heck am I going to do that? That's too much. I'm going to have to bust my butt before that. But I don't even know. There's nothing I can do about it. It's a hoop to jump through. I've talked to my dad and a couple of people, and it's like, maybe this class would help prepare for GPAs, because they want you to do something a certain way. And this, I think some of the people that help design this class will help. Well, also, they help design the GPA test, which the clinic exit test is what we have to take next. We've already taken 1 and 2. We have to take a 3rd clinical exam where it's like hands-on, and they're watching you do intake with the patient, which is actually an actor and actress, and then you're doing physical exams, and they changed it this year. So I thought maybe this class would help me for that test, even though I'm not taking the test for a year, a little less than a year actually. But I've studied for that test for a year, literally, with a friend. She had the test, I think she was always a year ahead of me. She had the test. We had a physical diagnosis class, and we kind of had a screening exam we had to do, which really helped you. I mean, screening exam is different. It's kind of like a physical exam, but this one you had to know you had to know a lot. I don't want to describe it. You have to know, like, different diseases, what tested you for what, like, oh, I have stomach ache on my right side, knowing what questions to ask, what tested you. So basically, I've studied for that test for a year in advance, and then the second one I've studied quite a bit for, and I didn't even get 10 points over passing. I got between 1 and like 8 points over passing, and I really, really studied. And part of it is, a lot of times they don't see what you do. They're taking notes, and you're like, okay, like with the thyroid, okay, I've got my hands on this person's throat for the past 2 minutes while you're taking notes. Should I say something, or like, should I just assume that you saw me? But you just have to be careful about how they grade it, and who's grading it. It varies a lot. When you think you got 100%, they could say you got like a 70. So basically, this instructor died. I said last night that I didn't want to pursue kind of fighting somebody who I need to be in their classes and in their shifts for a year and a half at least. I just didn't feel right about that. And I've already had some things reported. It was some things. One thing happened that got reported that I did not purposely try to report, but it came up as a staff member seeing me extremely distraught and immediately called some other staff members to report the incident that caused me to be distraught like that. So I don't like doing stuff like that. It's like, oh, do unto others. But at the same time, I'm like, oh, maybe I should have fought it now if the guy's not really there to say much about what really happened. But, it's just sad. It's like, I could flunk out of school. My kids could flunk out of school. We could become homeless. But this dude has got no life. And what hurts my heart most, almost, is this dude could have suffered a lot of pain. I don't know. It could have been instant. And he was an EMT. He worked with, as a marine biologist, as a doctor and surgeon. I can't believe it. And he just jokes all the time. And our patient came in and was like, this terminology you use is hip-hop terminology. I don't understand it. And this guy wasn't American. He's like, I don't understand this language you use. And this guy is like, what, 50-something, 60-something years old. And he's like, oh. And the guy who died. Anyways, there's a lot going on. I have to put things in perspective. I considered going to make plans to visit my dad. I said I could not stay at his house. It pretty much wore me down, but maybe I can take my studies for the board exams to my dad's house this summer. The thing is, we have like 3 clinic shifts in a class, if not 1 more classes, and I'm trying to figure out, what is the priority? It's like when my grandma died, it's like, oh, I wish we would have gone to see her, but I didn't have any money. I said, oh, what if I had gotten a credit card? I could have still been in debt right now, but I would have got to see grandma one more time. So it's just like putting things in perspective, and it's like I came home and tried to search for a really long time to try to find out about what this car accident, how it happened, and I couldn't find anything. I found one anonymous 66-year-old. I'm not sure if this guy was 66 or not. But I had found nothing for the entire state. So I don't know if there's something strange in what happened. So even my friend was in the country and a relative got in a wreck. And it was still easy accessible. Part of it because I think they might have posted some stuff about it. But I knew the exact location where it happened. So I just pray for the whole family of this physician, naturopathic physician, surgeon, etc., whatever other credentials he has, and I'm grateful I made it home safely. Kind of like, oh, I especially don't want to go drive around to the store today, but my dad's like, yeah, you can't hide in the house and blah, 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 you live your life, but I procrastinated on my computer, kept shutting down and all this stuff, but I finally started again on my business plan. It's almost done. I need to be done, because I have a lot of extra work to do, a lot of busy work to do, and a lot of studying. And when you have an excessive amount of studying, it really needs to stick, which means you really have to start well in advance. And I thought the pharmacology, actually thought it was fairly manageable. Wow, I can't believe I said that. Especially since I got a fine grade, I could say that, but I'm learning how to study. I'm supposed to be eating a certain amount of types of food that keeps me from getting sick, and I'm not. I'm eating a lot of other things around the house. And I'm like, should I just go to the health food store and get my regular foods, or am I just saying, life's too short, let's just blow off my food plan this week? But that food plan helped me get good grades and everything but 1 class. Which, that will change, let's just say it. Let's just think positive. That will change. Putting things in perspective. If I don't do my homework and study, no matter what happened to this guy that I cried for, I had to leave class because I was hysterical. whatever happened to this dude is not gonna stop my homework, and it's not gonna stop me paying my rent or my electric bill. So, one way or another, we thinking as my family, me and my family, my kids just don't do the work anyways, but I need to get it together, finish this business plan, and just move on to something else. And I just wanted to share that because I noticed that I just want to complain about all my problems, and I know I'm finding out other people's problems, and I want to get mad and complain like all of us are having stupid problems. It's not fair. But I just can't believe what happened. It's like someone's light got snuffed out somewhere early. It's kind of creepy. And my friend's like, oh, this is why we have to do good. This is why we have to do good, because you never know when your life is going to end. So, all I could say, giving myself my own advice, a lot of people have loved ones and friends and family, teachers die. Biggest thing I was telling me and a couple other classmates was everything that this instructor taught us, let's just use it, remember it, use it to help others. Whether it's surgery, whether it's emergency medicine to help save somebody's life, whether it's what I learned from him about how to use oxygen. I didn't learn it, but I got quiz from him how to use oxygen, how to use epinephrine, which I didn't even get a check off for the second one because I screwed up some of the questions he asked me. I couldn't answer them. So, I don't think it's a good thing for me to eat foods that make me sick, make my throat close up and red and irritated and stuffy nose. I don't think that it's right for me to stay up till 1 o'clock in the morning when I have to be somewhere at 7 o'clock, or not 7 o'clock, but 7 days a week. But I feel like I'm just doing all this busy work, and it feels insane. This medical school feels insane, and some people make it look so easy, and some people are like on all this, they get all these special awards and stuff, and it's like, wow. And my dad just reminded me that I'm doing better than I could be doing, or that certain people that are no longer there have done, so I have to keep it in mind. We're going to learn everything in the world. You pretty much learn everything in the world at the medical school, but until we have patience and get experience in our own practices, we won't have everything come together. That's where we'll get more practice, having things come together. And I can barely imagine how it'll be. It's like, wait, this person, like in the clinic today, it's like, wait, I've seen this person a couple weeks ago. And it's like, and she's going to come back in a couple more weeks. And it's like, you smile and you shake their hand and you tell them have a good day. And in between that, you ask them what's wrong and you pay attention to them and treat them with respect. And all this stuff. Wow, you know what I mean? So I told my dad that I started bursting into tears, crying, leaving the room, talking to people behind me, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe so. My friend sent me out to the bathroom, and I was like, I felt hysterical, and I told my dad, I was like, nobody else is crying, I'm like freaking out. And he's like, well, you have a lot of empathy, and you were like friends with that dude. Like, you were talking to him about his family. He doesn't have a family, like his dogs and his cats and his wife, and how his wife's business is doing. I'm like, yeah, I guess. He's like, he's like, you're not just like, oh, it's just another teacher, whatever. It's like, you like that guy, he's funny. Like, I gave him a little glossy thing to put in his surgery lab or surgery classroom that's still on the wall. And I had a second teacher for the second term, but still, it's still on the wall. People gave treats and pig's feet, and not pig's feet, but pork rinds and stuff. Because this guy, we had to use pig's feet in his class to practice surgery or stitching on before we did it on real people, which I haven't done yet. So anyways, I have family issues. I post this on Facebook. I have family issues. I had school issues. I felt overwhelmed. I'm eating. Either I'm not eating at all, I'm eating the wrong foods, or I'm not sleeping at all, or I'm not sleeping well. And I just cannot believe the stress. I haven't gone to my community group, and I'm feeding the kids. I think during spring break I said I'm going to get a lot of foods that I can make fast, because I'm like, I knew the first week of school I really need to be on top of things. So that's good, you know. They had a lot of soups and a lot of frozen foods to put in the toaster oven, and I mean, that's not my favorite food for them to eat, but it's keeping them pretty full, and plenty of salads, and running low on fruit, but there's plenty of fruit in there. It's just my favorite ones ran out. So everything is in perspective. I am ordered a few items from the internet, a couple books. There's some couple novels that I need to read, you know, and I need to learn more self-care. There's a lot of people, naturopaths, that die from our school community. A lot of them die of cancer. A lot of them have heart issues. Not a lot, but one in particular I'm thinking. And no matter what education you have, or medical education, or what supplements, or even diet, it's like, I feel like all this stress and taking care of others and not yourself. One of my other doctors died because his heart just stopped, and he was like 40-something years old. And everyone just said he's always on call, always answered his phone, always drove out to meet people all across town it wasn't even his patients. It was like, oh, my friend can't go into labor, and the doctor wants to, you know, do a C-section. Can you come over here and do acupuncture and herbs, you know? And he would jump in. That's what they said at his memorial at my school. So it's hard. It's like, and then having this weekend class, it's like, gosh, the most important things are to have some time with the family. And it already feels like I'm almost not even sure. I mean, if somebody's dream and goal and God's plan for them is to go to medical school, no matter what their situation at home, I think that they should go. But if there's some other plan, or if they don't feel like that's totally a thing to do, I mean, I never always totally felt like it was a thing to do, but I prayed about it, and the right doors opened and the wrong doors closed. But I think it's difficult. I don't know how difficult it would be if I had to work 2 or 3 or 4 jobs to pay for the kids, because it's like certain holidays and breaks, it's like, oh, I don't have school today. Oh, okay. Mom, what are you doing home today? Well, I'm with you, because I have the same holiday. So there's some things that are good, and then it's like I'm not working all night at a store or something, or at a restaurant, but it's like I'm coming home studying, which I can take. Like, we came home and went through most of the photo albums, me and my daughter. She's looking for something for her 8th grade graduation. We hadn't done that, and I told my friend, said, don't tell the kids about this death of the doctor, because kids are sensitive. But it's like they knew a lot about this guy, and I'm going to be sitting here crying on and off. Why not just let them know the truth, so that they can join me in my prayers for this guy's family? Because, like, think of how devastated I was when I found out. Now think about how the rest of his family felt. His neighbors, his patients. I don't even know how they're going to deal with it. And a lot of the students were like, what about my shift? What about my class? What about this? What about that? And I was kind of like, I mean, I'd be concerned about making plans on making sure we're having a quiz, or are we not having a quiz, you know? But I felt like, oh, I mean, I don't know. I didn't have him anymore. I may have wondered too, but I spent the first hour when I learned about it crying and being like, I miss that guy, instead of thinking about other things. But like I said, I don't have him this term like a lot of other people do. That's all I'm going to say. It's really late. My son was supposed to be in bed half hour ago, and I clearly told him, actually not even in bed, but just turn all the computers and stuff off. So it's time to actually be a parent and actually take care of myself. And no matter how much I think I'm taking care of myself, we never know when our last day is. So that's something that I want to remind myself and everyone else. And there's a baptismal service at the church on Sunday. I'm supposed to be teaching, and I really, my friend and her twin girls, and a whole lot of people are getting baptized. I would really like to see this event and take pictures and stuff. So I'm going to call my lead teacher and ask if I can get a sub, and potentially, I need to pray about it, potentially get a sub for the next 3 months, because I'm overwhelmed. So sometimes doing the childcare and the teaching helps get the mind off everything, but at the same time, sometimes it's like so much pressure to do a lot of extra stuff when your brain is like on survival mode all the time. And I know a lot of people in the church will be like, don't think of yourself all the time, do stuff for others. But sometimes you're like I feel really not well right now, just run down, and I don't think this is helping my body stay active and fit, and able to raise children alone for many more years of my life and theirs. So there's just, I feel like in our culture we don't necessarily allow ourselves to make ourselves be healthy. And me as a single parent without any child support or any extra help from anyone, including my ex-husband or any of his family, which is only like one guy, it's really strange and really a lot of work, and really, like, I don't know, like, it's a miracle that we've been able to keep a roof over our heads and electricity on and gas in the car, because it's really feels scary. And I know I'm not alone. Doesn't matter that I have kids or if I don't have kids. There's people senior people, they have to choose between drugs and food or eating cat food, which I feel like cat food may sometimes be more expensive. But I'm not alone. So I want to say that I'm not trying to be selfish and shallow. But I know in my situation, it's taken a miracle of God to get us to where we are. And my hopes and dreams were always to help others. But at the same time, there's been a couple people reminding me, what about yourself? You're driving yourself into the ground. How much help are you going to be to others? So I really have to take that seriously and just be wise. Sometimes that stuff's in the subconscious, but it's like, oh, let's just ignore it, because everyone else looks like they're working as hard as me. Like, it doesn't matter what everyone else is doing. Everyone else is, like, sleeping in on the weekends. And, I'm not saying everyone, like, you are all doing it. But there are certain people that know how to be successful by resting and eating healthily and taking time out to go to movies and traveling across the country and world to see relatives and friends and go to beaches and actually have a good time. So, that helps your body rebuild itself, and helps your mind, and helps your spirit and everything. So, whatever it takes. I have a friend who has a bunch of kids, like 4, I think. 3 or 4. But she's like, I haven't even left town in, like, years. And who knows? Sometimes you hear people say that, and it's like, where were you? You just traveled around the world for a month recently. But it's like, it doesn't matter where I am, as long as I'm, like, just taking care of myself and the kids, guinea pig over there, and the house, and just really, like, somebody had said there's, like, a tunnel, like tunnel vision, and looking up at God and finding out what He wants me to do, and keeping my eyes on His will for my life, and then just not trying to figure everything out and think it all out, but also know that I have to put the footwork in, like I've been doing, because that's just pretty much the only way the work's going to be done, one way or another. So I'll keep you posted. I have that class tomorrow. I really don't want to go, but I feel like there's a lot of valuable information I can learn, and it's another sacrifice because I didn't fight it. And just the community at school is really, they say the word heavy-hearted, and I can understand, even for myself, to let myself grieve and just do the work, and I've already been crying about my own problems, and my dad's like, oh, good thing you had all these 3-hour classes to distract your mind. And it's like, kind of, in a way, it's like, yeah, you're right, instead of just dwelling on different things and not getting anything done. So that's all I have to share today. Hopefully I actually post this video, so just make it for no reason.